Hello, we are continuing our government conversation about the Constitution, specifically talking about amending the Constitution. So, in the last video, we talked about methods of amending the Constitution, proposing amendments, and ratifying those amendments. Today, we are going to talk about the amendments themselves. We are in the textbook. The textbook is available online at the National Emergency Library, the National Emergency Archives. It is a more updated version of this old government textbook that we are using today. So the 27 amendments. Because of the difficult amendment process, only 27 amendments have been added to the Constitution. The importance of these amendments cannot be overstated. They have protected individual freedoms, expanded voting and other rights, and extended the government's powers. Protecting individual freedoms. The first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights, were designed as a protection for individual freedoms. They were adopted only 2 years after the Constitution went into effect. As noted in Chapter 2, many states, upon ratifying the Constitution, made strong recommendations that a Bill of Rights be added. The Bill of Rights protects citizens' freedom of speech, religion, and assembly, and it guarantees a free press and the rights of the people accused of crimes. In addition to protecting individual freedoms, the Bill of Rights also acknowledges the rights and powers of the states and the people. The Ninth Amendment says that people hold additional rights not specifically mentioned in the Constitution, while the 10th Amendment says that the states and the people retain all powers not specifically given to the national government, and that the Constitution does not forbid them to have. These amendments were included in the Bill of Rights to ensure that the national government would not unjustly dominate the states and the people. Expanding voting and other rights. In the more than 200 years since the Bill of Rights was ratified, other amendments have been adopted in clusters during periods of great social and political change. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, for example, were adopted just after the Civil War. These amendments banned slavery in the United States, made African Americans U.S. citizens, and gave various rights, including the right to vote, to African American males. In another era of social change, the first decades of the 1900s, 4 key amendments were passed. 2 of these, the 17th and 19th Amendments, extended the reach of democracy by providing for the popular election of senators and by granting the vote to women. Before passage of the 17th Amendment, state legislatures chose senators, and women did not have the right to vote in every state until the passage of the 19th Amendment. Extending government powers. 2 other important amendments were passed during the early 1900s, both of which expanded the reach of the government. First, the 16th Amendment authorized a national income tax. This tax increased the amount of money the government could collect to pay for its programs and to pay other national expenses. Then, the 18th Amendment made prohibition the law of the land. This amendment expanded the national government's powers by allowing it to regulate the manufacture, sale, and transportation of intoxicating liquors throughout the country. Ratification deadlines. The last amendment to the Constitution, the 27th, was ratified by the states in 1992. This amendment, which was originally proposed all the way back in 1789, says that no vote to increase Congress members' salaries may take effect until after the next regularly scheduled congressional election. The 1789 Congress had not set a deadline for ratification. Almost 200 years later, efforts were made to revive the amendment. Some people argued that the process of ratifying the 27th Amendment had already taken too long. Since 1919, Congress usually has set deadlines, generally around 7 years, for ratifying amendments. Nonetheless, supporters of the 27th Amendment were able to secure its ratification. If you want to know more about the amendments to the Constitution, I have an earlier video that I posted that goes through most of them in depth. But this wraps up our section on amending the Constitution. So stay safe, and hopefully I will get to see you guys soon. Bye.